Hello, welcome back to my podcast. I haven't made a podcast or a YouTube video in like 4 months, which is pretty bad because I do like talking, and that's the whole reason why I have a podcast. But yeah, I haven't been on YouTube or my podcast in around 4 months, which is not like me. Okay. Hello, welcome back to the podcast, and if you're watching on YouTube, welcome back to my channel. It has been a while. It has been around like 4 months since I last posted a video on the internet. Like, of course I've been existing on the internet, as many of you can probably tell. But anyways, in today's podcast, if you're listening on Spotify or if you're listening on my YouTube, I appreciate you so much. And if you've stuck around after me being like offline for 4 months, I really appreciate you, because I just appreciate you. But yeah, I'm back and I have a lot of explaining to do. Oh my god. Sorry, that was my phone. That was a bit dramatic for the podcast. Anyways, I'm gonna crack open a cold drink because it is... Sorry, I'm doing some ASMR. It is... Wait, how hot is it today? It is, let me see. 27 degrees. I'm just gonna crack open a cold one with the boys. No. Crack open a cold drink before we get into this. Wait, let me... Okay. A little bit of ASMR for you. Today's podcast is going to be about how my recent breakup, well, it's been 4 months post breakup, and it is about how my breakup essentially has taught me a lot about my female friendships and friendships in general. That includes everyone, by the way. And it's just me reflecting on how like the universe basically like brought me like my best friends after my breakup. And I don't know if maybe the breakup has made me more appreciative of my like friends and my new friends and everyone around me socially, because I have gotten very social, and it's very surprising for someone like me to be very social, because I'm very shy, and a lot of people would tell you that, but I'm also very confident. So I don't know, maybe I've changed, maybe I've become a new like person. I have no idea, but I used to be very like shy, but I've always been very social with people. Like at university, I made friends with everyone, and when I went out, everyone was like, "Oh, it's Eliza, like, yeah, like, let's party." So I don't know. Maybe people think I'm shy, but I'm actually not. I'm very confident and social with the right people around me. So I think that really depends who I'm surrounded by. Yeah, lots of people, like my family, would tell you that I'm very shy, but I'm not shy. I'm the complete opposite of how I used to be, actually. But I'm not sure if I like separated myself from friendships because of the relationship I was in, or if I was... I don't know, I have no idea. When I got into that relationship, I made sure that I wasn't going to be like that sort of girl that separated and isolated myself from my friends and social events, But in that relationship, I made sure that we did social things together, like with our friends and their friends, and combine them. But towards the end, like, that changed, and I was craving, like, us to be around people socially together, like, as a couple, and still, like, being our individual selves. So, like, I don't know, I wasn't stopping myself from, like, being social, but after the breakup, like, I just got more social. Like, not to the extreme. I think I don't know, I tapped into this part of myself where maybe I was holding myself back, I'm not too sure, but I definitely felt more free. I don't know how to explain it. And maybe I did feel held back, but in the relationship, like, I never like stopped myself from seeing my friends, or like going out as a couple, because I made sure that we would be social, like, with each other's friends, and that it wouldn't be something that's, like, conjoined, where, like, we have, like, no freedom as a, like, couple in a relationship. So I was the, like, person, oh, where is the game? I was, like, the person in the relationship that wanted that social time. Yeah, I just wanted, like, us to go out as a couple and enjoy things socially. Like we could, like, go off and see our friends and make new friends. I just wanted to be a very social person. So I guess maybe I have changed in a way, because I was not like that. I don't know what happened to me. I think I just became more appreciative of people around me and, like, social things, like, not taking social things for granted, because at the end of the relationship, as I said, I was craving social time with people, and, like, us meeting new people and networking, if you would call it that. Because I was like, if we meet these people, it's gonna benefit you, and it's gonna benefit me, and it's gonna benefit us. But, like, and that wasn't happening. So yeah, after the breakup, like, I surprisingly made new friends, and they're now my best friends, and I'm very thankful for that. I don't know if, like, the universe was, like, slapping me in the face, like, here you go, like, you got rid of something that maybe was holding you back, and here is a new bunch of people that are going to show you love and appreciation and make you feel, like, seen and like, not held back. And I don't know how to explain it. I'm just very, very thankful for my friends that I've made, because I don't think if I didn't go through that breakup, I wouldn't have had that much confidence to talk to new people. But of course, when I'm going out to parties and stuff, back then when I was in a relationship, I did talk to people, because I had boundaries for myself. Being in a relationship, I, like, completely, like, cut off a bunch of people, and I don't know how I feel about that now, because I feel like I should have not cut off all of those people. Carrying on to the topic, about how it has made me appreciate friendships. Me and my best friends, we went to Paris, and it just made me really reflect on, like, friendships and relationships in general. Like, we literally did not argue at all, which is crazy, because, like, you would think in a friendship group, if you're traveling together, you're going to at least, like, have one argument or some sort of drama that really, like, makes the group feel a bit, like, shaky. But me and my friends, we literally don't argue. Like, we we rave together, we go clubbing together, we, like, have, like, deep, like, moments together. So we're not always, like, raving and partying, like, our friendship is more than like just raving, but like I know people from the outside would be like, no, like you literally just go to like parties, which is not the case. But it just made me very, very grateful that I have these friends, because I've never felt so like safe and comfortable and like able to be myself around like a group of people, and like meeting new people as well, like because in our friendship group we always meet new people, so it's really fun. And we always go out of our comfort zone, and I think that's the thing. Like my friends that came to me after my breakup have literally like taught me how to go out of my comfort zone and not like take anything for granted, because you shouldn't take anything for granted. And obviously in my last relationship I felt like my like quality time and like me was being taken. I felt like me and my like quality time was like being taken for granted, and I was being taken for granted. And I really tried to like emphasize like how I felt like I was being taken for granted. But of course, like when someone takes you for granted, they don't know that they've taken you for granted until they lose it. So yeah, like I don't ever want to feel taken for granted for ever again. And that's why I'm grateful that I have friends that appreciate my time, my company, like bonding time, and sometimes literally like be non-verbal in the group. We all have those moments in the group where we literally like don't talk, and that's okay. Like that's normal in friendships. But yeah, anyways, in Paris I was reflecting on how like that has happened to me, and I am a literal big simp for my friends, because I've never like felt so much love before until like I found my friends and my like tribe. And of course like all of my friends from before have been extra supportive since I went through my breakup, but I think it's just me being a bit more appreciative and really feeling the love that you can feel in friendships and feeling seen, and which is most important, because I did not feel seen at the end of my relationship. I just felt like I was on the side and that I was left out in the cold. But then my friends, they did not leave me in the cold, and they like always make sure that I'm okay, and we always check up on each other, like no matter what, because that's just what we do. Like we're just girls. We always check up on each other, and I really, really appreciate that. And I feel like things like that are even taken for granted, because if you like don't check up on your significant other, like it's gonna have massive impact. And it did for me, because I felt kind of lonely at the end of my relationship. And then when we broke up, I felt kind of relieved. I was sort of angry, because I didn't expect my like ex-boyfriend to take me for granted and sort of not see what was in front of him. So when I met my friends like Debbie and everyone else, they sort of put me into the light and like said like, it's okay, like you're here, like we see you, is how it felt to me anyways. Like I felt very seen and not taken for granted of, because they take time and they take like effort, and like they really, really, really make sure that you feel appreciated. I think the whole group do this to each other. We just always make sure that like every single person is feeling okay and feeling happy because friends. Yeah, after my breakup, I had this because I was on TikTok, all the time. This author who wrote this book called Everything I Know About Love, well, she did an audiobook for it, and that audiobook kind of went viral on TikTok for like this one particular quote where she's like, everything I know about love is from my female friendships. And I relate to that so much now, because obviously I'm no longer in a relationship. I am single and in my hot girl summer era, like truly. I have had a hot girl summer. It's been very nice, and I thank my friends for that, because I would not be living my best life and feeling happy within myself and my circle and my life. I would not be feeling that, because the way I was feeling before, I guess I somewhat did not feel like myself towards the end. And I think that's because like the relationship was failing, and I was putting my all into it, and I was giving too much when I should have not given any, or not as much as I gave towards the end. But like I don't regret giving that love. Like, love is given, and like no matter like what the person does with it, I still gave it, and that's love. But I did feel like I gave too much, and I probably should have like given myself like a slap in the face. I probably should have. But also, like, during that time, I wasn't very like talkative to my friends, because everything was just like going wrong, basically. And and before like my breakup, like it was our 1 year anniversary, and then I always like feel really weird about this, because before I went down to like do our 1 year anniversary, it was really hard to like make that happen. And then like my cat got injured, so like it felt like a double, like I don't know, it felt like a weird moment for me, because I went away to celebrate our 1 year anniversary when like no effort was being made, and then my cat got into an injury and went missing, and then came back with a broken shoulder. So then I felt like really guilty for going away, because of course like back then like my ex-boyfriend wasn't making any effort. Like I was just like, hello, like it's our 1 year anniversary, like are you going to do something? But it was all me. I was like, I will get on that train, but like I didn't want to, but I wanted. It was like a last like shot of like trying to save the relationship. And I don't know how I feel about that moment, because I feel guilty, and I kind of like regret like rushing off, because my cat was not ready, and everything was just going wrong, and I was just going downhill, and my cat like being lost and injured, and me coming home to her with a broken shoulder whilst my like relationship was failing was a lot for me to take in. But like now, like life has done like a 180 on me, and it has completely changed, and I've learned so much about friendships with people, and like making new friends and meeting new people at music festivals, which I would never have the confidence to like talk to people at festivals at all. I literally would not talk to people like I have been at clubs and music festivals. Like I'm a changed person and I'm feeling really happy in myself and with everything around me, and I don't know, I feel like the universe did it on purpose because I was experiencing a lot of like, I was experiencing a lot back then, And because the relationship was failing, I felt like everything else was failing. So it kind of felt like really depressive. Like I became depressed, and then I even like lost weight at one point, and I like couldn't speak. It was a bad time. Like it was not good. Yeah, the way I met my friends, that's kind of funny because I met them through my ex-boyfriend, and I'm very thankful for that because I love them so much, and they've like really taught me a lot about friendships and how our friendship is like growing and like evolving. Like even though we haven't known each other, well, we've known each other for 4 months now, but it doesn't feel like that to me at all. It doesn't, because of like how we are always like raving together, like being vulnerable together. I feel like I've known them more or longer. I feel like that. I really do. But anyways, Dolly what's her name? Dolly Arlington. Dolly. I'm gonna Google it. Okay, Dolly Alderton. Nope, I still can't say it. Dolly Alderton, the author of Ghosts and Everything I Know About Love, she did say that quote, and I understand it. Like when I saw that TikTok of saying the like, what is it? I've learned more about love from my friendships. I understand that now. I understand it fully. Because I think because I was in a failing relationship, I didn't think that there would be love elsewhere, which I was wrong for thinking. And I shouldn't have like gaslighted myself like that because I was very wrong. And I was not prepared for this massive change and completely like different sort of energy in my life now. Because yeah, like if you told me during that relationship that I would be going to Paris with like my best friends, I would not believe you. I wouldn't even believe myself, because first of all, I don't know why, I'm quite a confident person, but I feel like I was lacking in confidence because when me and my ex-boyfriend used to like go to like social gatherings and like parties, he stopped like taking me to parties, and I felt like that was a like big warning sign for me, because I felt like first of all, like if my boyfriend or partner couldn't like show me off into the world, like suddenly I thought that something dodgy was happening, and I still don't know what went on. During that time, I thought that there was like someone at that party that I was like getting hidden from for some reason. It was really bad because he attended like those parties without me, but like everyone that we knew like as a couple and separately was asking after me, so that says a lot. And that's what I mean, like I'm quite a social person, so I'm not surprised that like these people that I knew were asking after me, like from my ex-boyfriend. Like they were asking after me, and he didn't explain like the actual reason, because the thing is, like I was able to travel down to like attend these social gatherings and be around, but like there was no effort or like thought of like wanting to have me there, so I just didn't turn up to like those parties because I did not feel like he wanted me there for some sort of weird reason that I don't know. It was very weird. It kind of made me panic back then, because I was like, why don't you want to like take me out? Like we know these people, and there were multiple parties where there were people that we knew that were attending, and he still did not want to take me, and I found that very weird because we knew these people, like they met us as a couple, yet like you wanted to attend alone. And it sort of like it sort of made everyone that knew him like ask me like if I was like still his like girlfriend, and I would always be like, oh, like yeah, I am, but I don't feel like it right now. So it was very weird because I felt like deceived, and I felt like he was accidentally deceiving other people to like think that he was single or that we weren't together, because he was attending like parties like alone, which is fine, like it's fine, but it's kind of weird when like that's like odd behavior. Like I don't know how to explain it. To other people, I feel like it would feel very like unusual, because we used to like attend loads of events together, and it just stopped and people like assumed that he was single. Even like my ex-boyfriend made a new Instagram. He did not post us because obviously we were having like problems caused by like, I'm not like saying that it was caused by him, but like it was. I'm not doing like a blaming game, like a blaming game thing, but like most of the relationship problems were like caused by like his behavior like during the time. What was I saying? Yeah, we used to like attend these parties, and he made this new Instagram, and I found that very dodgy because I was taking like a break off Instagram because I wanted privacy, and like he randomly decided to make an Instagram, and I was not ready to come back on Instagram, but it was like a brand new one, and oh, sorry about the fly. But all of these photos, like it was giving the impression that he was like newly single and like tricking all of these girls that he was following. So yeah, that gave me a lot of anxiety, because I was like, first of all, like your behavior like in person is saying a lot, and it's making me feel deceived, and the Instagram sort of made it worse. Like because I was off Instagram, like I was very overwhelmed by all of this. But like I trusted him, but he made me feel like I couldn't trust him due to like him going to parties like alone and like not telling me until like the last minute, which meant that I couldn't like go anyways. So like that and the Instagram made it like the worst fiction, like the worst fiction, the worst friction, not fiction. No, we're not talking about books here. The worst friction that could happen was that, because people like assumed that he was single, and I was like, no, like we're still together, but yet you're attending parties alone. So like people are bound to make assumptions, like just question it, like because considering that like his friends and like people that knew me were asking after me, like surely people would pick up on that. But anyways, that's basically what caused the breakup, because I felt like I was being in the cold, and I didn't feel like appreciated, or like I didn't feel like we were a couple anymore, and I was trying my best to save it, but there was nothing I could do, because when I was trying to save it, like he did not want to save it, so I was just like, okay, this is not gonna work. Because I should not be putting that much energy into someone that doesn't want to make the effort, or like take me out and like show me to their friends that we know. Like, why would I put effort into that, really? So yeah, like after my breakup, like it was pretty messy, like very, very messy. A very messy breakup, because of course like the energy before it became toxic, and it sort of like stained my perspective on relationships now. Essentially, the relationship was very healthy from the start until things started changing on his part and he just switched, and that has sort of really messed up my perspective on love, because I initially thought it was healthy until it became toxic, and I did not expect that from him or the relationship. So now, like, I feel like I need therapy. Like, I actually do. I actually feel like I need therapy, especially like with being left out in the cold and feeling taken for granted. Like, now I'm afraid that like my attachment style has changed, and I don't really like that, because I do not like the fact that it has had that impact on me as a person. But in other ways, like, I feel very like different in terms of friendships. My like light on friendships is very much changed, but like my light on my light on like love in like romantic relationships has been stained, literally. But like my view on friendships is very much like loving and wholesome, and like a complete different vibe from how I view relationships. Because now I'm afraid if I get into a healthy relationship, like what if he like suddenly like changes and does the same thing that my ex-boyfriend did. Like, I feel like I'm quite I don't want to say the word traumatized, because I feel like that's too much of a word to say, but yeah, I don't know. I feel impacted by it for sure, but I have learned that I can find love in other things or other people and other like experiences. Like, there is so much love in literally me going to a festival and going to a music festival and meeting so many people that are so loving and so kind and literally always look out for you. Literally, I met strangers that literally looked out for me, and I find that crazy. But I feel very appreciative of the music culture as well now. I love music so much. I love it to death. Like, I live and breathe music so much. So having a friendship group where we all love music and the same thing is the best thing I could ever ask for. Literally, I've said that word so many times, so like you can like take a shot every time I say literally. Feel free to do that. But yeah, I'm just very appreciative of my friends. Like, my friend Shemi sent me a birthday gift through the post, and she wrote me a little card, and I started crying because I was like, what? Like, I'm so grateful for my friends around me, because I felt like then, like back then, I was appreciative of social things, not to the extent that I take pride and joy into my friendships now, and I make sure that I'm putting the same sort of effort and quality time and all the love languages that each friend has, and making sure that my friends feel appreciated and making sure that they feel loved, because there's so much love in friendships, and you will not know it until you get surrounded by the right people. And I think because my relationship turned so toxic, I was gaslighting myself basically into thinking that I would not be able to find love again. But I have found love again, and I found it through friendships. Now, you literally would not believe that if you, I don't know, I guess sometimes you don't feel like love from friendships, and I think before I wasn't aware of it, probably. And maybe that's why it's like hit me like a brick into the way that I feel so much love from my friends now. I feel so much love from my friends now, and I think that comes from the lack of feeling love in my relationship. So I think like the universe truly showed me that you can have your girls, and they will show you the most love that you have ever felt in the whole entire world. Like, who needs a boyfriend when you have your girls? Or, like, who needs them? I probably would like one in the future. But right now I'm not doing that, because I feel like I still need like a lot of healing. Like, of course I'm healed, and the way that I've healed is by being around my friends and partying and going to music festivals, and yeah, like doing stuff that I would not normally do, and taking myself out of my comfort zone and going on like a 3-day trip to Paris to see our favorite DJ. Like, if you told me back then that I would be doing that, I would be like, what? No, you're not doing that. Like, how are you doing that? But I am doing that, and I'm very happy, and I'm always like, of course I am thankful for like all of the love that I gave in my relationship, and all like the relationship that it was. I don't know, I feel like my perspective has kind of changed, and I wanna, before I get into another relationship, I want to take more time. So like now, like when people like ask me on dates, I put boundaries up to like get to know the person a bit more before like we go out, because I would rather like connect with the person and then go on a date, and then I can feel like comfortable. So I've like really been like learning how to place boundaries, but I don't know if I'm doing it as like a way to protect myself from like hurt, or if I'm like kind of scared of love, but not scared of love from friends, like scared of love from like men. I don't know why, and I really hate that. Like, I probably have a different attachment style now, and I'm probably like kind of scared. Yeah, like friendships are so special and so unique, and I really think, oh my god, that was Debbie. Oh my, that like scared me because I could hear it on the microphone. But yeah, I feel very appreciative of my friends, and I love like how the way I met them was through my ex-boyfriend. So like there is good like after a breakup, but the breakup was so messy, and like the aftermath of it was so messy. It was bad. Like, I was like, what the fuck, man? Like, what? Is that real? Like, I just have my friends. Just my friends. I don't need another another man. I just need my friends. My friends, yeah, I got that. They're fine. I don't need anything else. Yeah, like, I think because it was so messy and so toxic, having those friendships and like that support system and like meeting my people, it really gave me like a slap in the face, and it has taught me a lot about friendships, because I've had like bad experiences with friendships. I've had friendships where it would be one girl and they would like pretend to be my friend, but then really they're like sort of like a fan and like a bit obsessed with me, and I would get really uncomfortable by that. So like I've had to cut off friendships because of friendships being more competitive. And with my friends now, there's none of that, because first of all, they're not fans, and they're not like fake friends either. Like, they're actual friends that like look out for you no matter like how you are, or like no matter what state you're in, they are going to have your back. Like, my friends, they have my back literally through everything. Literally, They have my back and we have each other's back. And because we're always like partying, we have to have each other's back. And even when we're not partying, we're just like talking. So it's just really nice. And I never thought I could have friendships where there's no like dramas or like no like slightly obsessiveness from one friend or some sort of drama. You know, like a certain number of people in the group and then like one gets jealous or whatever. Like that doesn't happen in our friendship group, and I'm glad. And also like I have other friends too, and we don't have that sort of friendship where we get jealous or we have like this immature sort of behavior, because we're not like that. So I'm just really grateful for that, and I never expected that for myself. And I do believe that the breakup was for the best, because I don't want to be with a person that takes me for granted. And the fact that my friends, like, they don't take me for granted really shows a lot about friendships. Because if you can get more love from friends than you can get from a partner or a boyfriend or a girlfriend, then, you know, maybe take a look at your friendships, because they say a lot. Your friendships, they say so much about you as a person. Yeah, like, there is so much love in friendships, so much of it, and I just want to like grab it and put it into my pocket, because yeah, I've become like a massive simp for my friends, because I never thought I would have friends like that. And I've had like friends from college. We would like we were really close, but like sometimes we like drift apart and we don't talk to each other. But I do have a one friend who I've known since like school, and the thing is with her, I can not talk to her for months and we can just like we can go off from where we last left off, and it could be like 2 years or like 4 months and nothing would change. Nothing changes. I love Katie. Katie is I love her. I love her so much. And before that, like when I was with him, I had bad experiences with friendships, and I was craving to be social so much. I just wanted to be around people. Like, that is not like me, but I guess I'm quite extroverted now. I want to be around people all the time. I don't know what's happened to me, I really don't. But people, I really appreciate people as well. Like I said, I met random people at music festivals, and I felt safe and I felt loved because there was love around me. And yeah, I may have taken some things that made me feel that more intensely, but so what? Like it makes me feel more appreciative. But even after doing all of those things, I do have more appreciation, like, sober. So like no matter like what like even if I am on something and it makes me experience this love, and being sober I get more reflective, so I'm grateful for that as well, because it has taught me a lot. And anyways, to end the podcast, I am going to look at what you guys have said about friendships, because I put it up on my Instagram story. Okay, so on my Instagram story, I asked you guys what you have learned from your friendships for a podcast. It's on here. My friend Debbie, I love Debbie so much. Hello Debbie, if you're listening. I love you so much. Well, Debbie said that friendships shouldn't be difficult. Now this is what I learned because of like Debbie and everyone else in our friendship group. So we went to Paris. We were just shocked that we did not argue. Like, our friendship is never difficult. It's quite calm and relaxing, and like there's no like drama. Like, if there's drama in a friendship, it's not a good friendship. Like, please find friends that make you feel comfortable and like that don't make you feel like the friendship is difficult to manage and handle. Like, a friendship shouldn't be like that. And then another person said, smaller acts, platonic love, regardless of how long it's been since I last saw them, all together. Yeah, that's another thing I appreciate in friendships, is that small gestures mean the absolute world. Like, no matter what it is, it can be like sharing something, or like just really small gestures. Like, even in terms of like communication, like there are so many small gestures in friendships that make you feel like, wow, like this person really appreciates me as a person, and that is a nice feeling. And sometimes you cannot get that in relationships, and I have learned that, and I'm glad I've learned that, because I love being around people, and I love my friendships. I love them all. Yeah, I've been talking for like an hour now, and I have to edit this, so. And I feel like I need a drink of water. Anyways, I'm back. Yeah, thank you for listening to the podcast. If you're listening on Spotify or any other streaming platform, or if you're watching it on YouTube, because I am finally posting after 4 months. Go me! Woo! I'm back. Yeah, I tend to get into lots of burnout, like a lot of burnouts. But that's another like podcast episode, or another like video essay, because I do want to make a video essay on creative burnout and being in your 20s, and how like we cannot avoid burnout because of capitalism. No, I'm not. We can't always blame capitalism, okay? Sometimes we can't always blame capitalism. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. If you did, I would really appreciate it if you could give it a like rating on wherever you're listening to your podcast, because that helps my podcast a lot. And I'm a small podcast, so it's just me. I'm doing all of it. But yeah, thank you for listening, and let me know what you think of the podcast. Appreciate if you can tell me when is the best time for you to watch my content or listen to my podcast, so I know like when you're down to chat with me and hang out with me, because I really enjoy talking to you and I appreciate it. That is like my word now. I appreciate so much in life, and I appreciate people, and I appreciate love, and love is not always found in relationships. So yeah, I shall see you next time. I hope you have a lovely day, or a lovely evening, or a lovely morning, or if you're just listening to the podcast on the go, like thank you so much, like truly. Anyways, I'm gonna go now, and I shall see you next time. Okay, bye. See you later. I'm literally doing this on my bed, so